One of the biggest conflicts in construction is, you guessed it, it's about the money. The final bill, usually higher than was expected. Clients had no idea what the contractor was charging, just kept sending me invoices. Nothing made sense. I know, this is what happens, and this is what a lot of people, feel the industry's about. And it gives contractors a really bad name, and it's definitely not how we do things at MGB. We decided to fix that after, conflicts, discussions with clients, listening to the feedback. We decided that transparency was the way to go at MGB, and we've created a cost sheet that gives our clients the full transparency, total peace of mind, and they're the ones that are making all of the decisions when it comes to investing their money in the project. Hey everyone, I'm Mike from MGB Building Group. Today we're not going to be talking about kitchens, countertops, all those things that normally happen. Today we're talking about money. It's a huge topic. I want to chat about the money, how we manage it, and how our projects are financially healthy for our clients, and how we track it, the approved budget, and as we're going through the project, so there's no confusion, no surprises. We're just one big open book. Our cost tracking system is what allows us to be able to do that for our clients. The way I see it in construction, you should never not know where your money's going, especially like things cost so much nowadays. And there's a lot of contractors out there, they give you the vague budget, or worse, they make it up as it's going along. They just charge you for extras, and it's not how it should be. You want a detailed price, very transparent from the beginning, and you want your builder to have a process of how he's tracking what was budgeted and what your spends are for each job phase. And that's where we differ from probably a lot of builders. We've created this process and this system where we have an accounts manager in-house, and all of our billing goes out, and all of our trade invoices, everything goes out to the clients. They see that. If there's any other questions, any concerns, they don't understand the budget, there's someone in-house that is available to discuss it with them right then and there, and to go through all of the trade invoices and material and supplier invoices that we get. We find this process just works really, really well with our clients, and being able to be transparent with them and keep them updated as the project progresses. When we start one of our projects, we're not just going through the design, we're not just going through the construction process, we're also going through the money management process. So we're creating a full cost breakdown for every single job phase, all the trades, all the allowances, and all of our allowances have actual item numbers tied to them. They're not just make-believe allowances. The projects we have or the allowances for our materials actually do exist. So that's one thing that we want to create clarity on, to be able to move the project forward in a way where our clients feel confident. They're going to know what they budgeted for is what they're going to get on their project, and we're able to track that back through our cost sheet tracking on a weekly basis with the clients. Before I break this system down step by step, if you're planning a renovation or a new build and you want to actually understand your budget from day one, reach out to us for a consultation. We'll show you exactly how our process works, how our project cost sheet works, and how we track our expenses to align with the budget and keep your financials completely transparent week after week. We don't just talk about transparency, we build it into the process. I really have a strong opinion about in construction is it's built on trust. It's not the handshake, it's not signing the agreement. It's the trust that you're able to get from your builder. And as a builder, you're able to give with your clients. And the way to do that is, through transparency, through your systems, through your processes. And that's what our cost sheet allows our clients to have. It gives them control, it keeps the communication open, all of the spending, everything aligns with the budget, so you're not drifting in confusion. Everyone stays accountable to the project, and the project stays healthy. Let me tell you about this project that really drove this home. We were hired by a family in Midtown Toronto. This was a few years ago. They'd been through a tough renovation. Their last builder just left them frustrated, confused, invoices showing up with shopping bags of receipts and right out of the glove box. No changes were documented. Nothing was put together in a process. And they came and said, Mike, we need the transparency from day one. We want to know that our builder, our contractor has a proven process to be able to update this. So we walked them through our process, and we were able to show them what we do and how it all works. And they decided to move forward with us on the project. And a few weeks into the project, all the anxiety was gone, all the pressure was lifted because we had sent them invoices. They had spoken to our accounts manager in our office, who was able to walk them through all the invoices, show them on the cost sheet exactly where, just as an example, their framing number was at 50,000. They had made a payment of 25, so there was another 25,000 remaining to pay. And then it showed a total on the bottom of the cost sheet showing what's left on their entire project. And being able to do that really built that trust and gave the clients confidence in us for the rest of the project. And they weren't worried about the budget. They weren't worried about the tracking. They were just able to enjoy the process there. So we just want to make a few suggestions. If you are planning or a reno or a new build, it's just a couple suggestions, a little bonus for you here. And it's just to help out with when you're interviewing builders, what you should be looking for. And one of them is you should be looking for real-time updates. Every time there's an invoice, there should be an accounting team updating you and letting you know what's going on with your cost sheet and your budget, not the builder themselves, because they're running around being a project manager and doing all that stuff. How are they possibly going to be able to explain the budget and all the numbers with you on a bi-weekly basis? It's just not feasible. So make sure there's someone your builder has on their team that does that specific role for you. Another one is phase by phase cost breakdowns. So you want to make sure everything's organized line by line in the job phases: demo, framing, plumbing, millwork. All of those costs are broken out, individual phases, room by room. It does create a lengthy sheet, but it's something, I think it should be done this way, and you should be asking builders to break it down this way. And if they can't and show you that and it's not transparent, I would advise, you're moving in the opposite direction from that builder. I'm not, one to get into these lump sum agreements or anything like that. Another item I would highly recommend is transparency. Now, we're cost plus, meaning we show all of our invoices, all of our suppliers, all of our materials to our clients, and we have our plus, our fee on there, and of course running site supers and general carpentry is on there as well. But we're not hiding anything. And I personally don't think it's a good idea to get into a contract if you can't see what all of the individual job phases are costing on your project. You're getting a project for $1.5 million, 1.75. If that can't be broken down into line items where you can see each phase, like how much your steel install was, how much your cabinetry was, your millwork, your appliances. If you don't know what all those items cost to get you to that 1.75 million, you got to ask yourself, like, where is that money really going? So that's a big one for me. And these are just a few things that I just want to share as some tips there for you to follow when you're interviewing builders. I know you guys hear me talk about process systems, but it's a very important part, and we've learned from our previous builds and I don't want to say mistakes, but possibly just learning curve to figure things out. We feel that the project cost sheet we've created really it alleviates a massive amount of stress, provides so much clarity and transparency for the clients, and it's really a key component of our systems and processes on the back end side of the office that we run at MGB as well. So if you're planning a renovation or a custom home, and you want full transparency from the design all the way to your last invoice, reach out to us at MGB Building Group. We can show you exactly how our project cost sheet works, how the invoices are going to align with the project on the job site, how everything's tied together. You're going to be working with our project account managers to make sure, everything is perfect and there's going to be no questions. So if you want to watch our next video on how we tie our scope of work and our contract into this project cost sheet, go and have a look, and I'll see you over there.